All right, for fall, if you want to have the most you can in your garden, then you need to pay attention to this, because this is something that will really help you get the most space in your garden and get more planted so you can end up getting a bigger harvest. Got a lot going on here, and I came out today and was looking at a couple things. And first of all, next video, I believe we are going to harvest our sweet potatoes. So we'll do that in the next video. I'm really excited for that. Really need to get it done because I had an event over my house this weekend and I wanted to leave the potatoes in the ground just because I liked the way it looked. You know, we left them an extra 2 weeks. It's not a huge deal, but we're really running out of time now for planting. We've got about 6 weeks until our first frost date comes upon us. So we really need to get these out. And then I was over here looking, we got some things planted. Our lettuces are rebounding really good from the transplanting. Our pak choi here is doing really good. And then we've got this. So this is this. So what this is a smattering of hot peppers, right? This is something I've struggled with a lot in the past, and it is coming into fall. I want to have a full fall garden and a full summer garden left over, and it just doesn't really work that way. So what I want to do is I want to take you through as I plant this, and we're just going to work our way down the line, and we're going to look at these plants and say like, hey, are these actually worth us growing, or should we be doing something different? Should we pull them out? Should we leave them? So it's not like spring where it's going to be absolutely perfect looking, but this is going to give us the most production. So we've got some lettuces left over here that we're gonna plant, which is why we're out here doing this. And I just started going out, and this plant was leaning over with some peppers on it. So I looked at it and I started looking down the line here, and I said, well, what do we got going on? So I wanna just look at these peppers. So for instance, this is a Hungarian wax pepper. It's not in, well, it doesn't look like it's in the best health. No, I take this back. This is a jalapeno, and it's not doing great. It does have a lot of flowers on it, but at the same time, it doesn't really have the foliage to support that life. You know what I mean? So that causes a bit of an issue for me. So what we're gonna do is we're simply just going to get rid of it. And I know that may hurt, but it's in the long run, it's better, because in that one space, I can get 4 or 5 pak choys out of there. You know, here's a Hungarian wax pepper, and it has 3 buds on it. It hasn't produced a lot over the year, and it is a little bit scraggly. It ended up getting shaded out. So again, we want to go through and just eliminate that as if we can. All I have is my big chompers, so we'll see if I can do it one-handed. Amazing what you can do with a forearm and a opposable thumb. And then we come here, okay? So this is where it starts to get a little bit interesting. So I've got a couple jalapenos here, but what I don't have, so look, first of all, it's always easier, if in doubt, harvest, and then look and see what you got left on the plant, right? And what we're looking for here is we're looking for health of the plant. So there's a little bit of chlorosis going on here. Looks like we may be a little bit nitrogen deficient, which we could fix, but this late in the season, if we don't have it, we're not going to get it. That's really important. This is not a time of the year to be building up plants. This is a time of the year to be coasting with plants, to let them finish out, stuff like that. So when you have a plant like this that's showing issues, guess what? It's gotta go. I mean, at this point, it's got 1 jalapeno that's gonna grow and 2 buds that I can see off the top of my hand here. So this one's gotta go. And then we'll come over here to this one. So this one is interesting. It definitely has a little bit of chlorosis, which is very natural for this time of year, this kind of splotching and stuff. You know, the plant's just starting to get old. But if we look at it here, let's get some peppers off. Remember, harvest what you can before you start analyzing it. But look at all the peppers on this plant. But more importantly, look at the bushiness of the plant and look at the flowers that are coming out on the tops of the plants too. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, we're gonna get probably 20 more peppers off of here easily. So this plant absolutely needs to stay. This is what I'm talking about where it's not gonna be absolutely perfect. So I'm gonna go through, clear out the rest. You kind of get what I'm saying here, hopefully. It looks like that might be the only hot pepper plant left, but as we get closer in and we look, we'll see what we have, but then we're going to plant and we'll see how much more we're going to plant. So remember, we had from this point forward, we had 1 eggplant that we removed and we had 3 pepper plants that we took out. So that's 4 plants that we had that weren't really showing much promise. Before we go in and do the other plants, let's go ahead and plant this little piece of this row real quick. So this is how I standardly plant my lettuces. And I don't really want to go super crazy going down the line because I may not actually have enough starts to go all the way through, which is okay. I've got a whole row here, a double row here, and we're going to put another row here, and that should be more than enough to get us going. And we wanted to do this because we wanted to have a staggered harvest. We didn't want it to all come at once, right? So we're just going to work our way down and see. And so right here, just in this one section, this is where the eggplant was. And you can see that we, in fact, are going to get 4 plants out of here, providing they survive, which I'm pretty sure they will. But instead of maybe, and I don't even think we would have gotten 1 eggplant, but let's just be nice and say we would have gotten 1 eggplant. So, you know, there's a big difference, and that's why we want to remove what's not producing, what's not going to produce, and what honestly you're just not going to have a chance to do anything with. You know, it's tough, and it's a hard decision to make. All right, so we went down the rest of the line and we left 3 plants. And I didn't even think I was going to leave these, but as I got close and looked at them, I could see that they are in fact doing pretty well. So it was a little bit misleading at first because some of the flowers that I had counted were for 3 plants. But even still, there's still a lot of buds and there's still time. And also the other thing that we have to factor in is in a couple days, what I'm going to do, well, matter of fact, I think I might actually do it today. I may go ahead and shoot some fertilizer in here, some liquid fertilizer, so it'll feed it immediately and get those nutrients to those plants and get them up and running. So it just gives them that little bit extra boost. So we factor all of that in so we know what we're doing for our garden, and it gives us an idea of if we even have a chance of producing. Now, as far as planting, you can see here, I went ahead and fertilized. So we put plant tone down. This is our pre-planting fertilizer. I'm not overly concerned about shooting liquid fertilizer the day I plant these for 2 reasons. 1, I don't really have a choice. I need to fertilize this bed. And 2, they've been sitting outside for a while, so they're pretty comfortable with their environment and the roots weren't disturbed all that much, so I'm not overly concerned. That's the thing with this time of year, is it's not going to be perfect, right? You know, in the spring when you come out and plant, you're planting a whole bed at once and everything's going in right. You can time everything out perfectly. In the fall, there's a little bit of a dance, right? You could absolutely do it where you pull everything out of your bed and you start over, but I don't do it that way. I try to get as much as I can within reason. I try to make an educated decision. And that's what we're doing here today. So this little exercise right here makes all the difference in the world. I see a lot of people keeping plants in their garden beds a lot longer than they should. And really it's just a waste. You know what I mean? So call it, move on, get it in the ground, and then get your next harvest. The other thing too is I'm picking plants to put in here that I'm harvesting the greens off of, meaning I can harvest them at any time. If I wanted to, I could eat those little seedlings right now. They wouldn't do a damn thing for me, but you get my gist here. So there's a lot of reasons why you would do this. I would not come in right now and put in a rutabaga or carrots or anything like that. If I was gonna do that, I would just wait, but I'm not gonna do that. So it depends on what you're planting, what's growing there, how it's growing, what your plans are for the future for that bed, and do you foresee something changing? You know, over the years, you're gonna get it, you're gonna figure it out. You're gonna say, hey, I fed that plant and I saw it turn around in a matter of days. I saw it turn around in a matter of weeks. This is my climate. So all of these things are gonna factor together and make it a perfect storm for you to make a decision. Our decision, we're gonna grow a few more hot peppers, we're gonna remove a bunch, and we're gonna plant a bunch of other plants. And that works out best for us and our garden for what we do. The other thing I need to do is keep this little bully out of here. Get out of here. All right, so here it is. This is the moment of truth. Is there anything in your garden that needs to be pulled out now?
Good.